Eleventy, a static site generator that takes your templates and content and turns them into a fully static website. It is blazing fast and flexible compared to its alternatives. To set up an Eleventy project, open your terminal and install Eleventy. Once it is installed, create a file called .eleventyjs in the root of your project. This file allows you to configure the project. Here, export a function with the argument eleventyconfig, then return an object that specifies the input and output directories. In this case, Eleventy will look for source files in the source folder and place the generated output in the public folder. Then, with the name you specified here, create a source folder in your working directory and add an indexmd file to it, which will serve as the home page. After that, you can add content to this file for your home page. I will simply add a title and some text. Now, let's start the server from the command line and see the result. Once the server is running, open your browser and go to the address shown on the command line. And here is the result. Also, if you look in your working directory, you can see that the public folder has been created. Inside this folder, you'll find your site's index.html file. Here, you can see that the title and text that we added to the indexmd file have been converted to HTML. However, as you may notice, this file does not have basic HTML elements such as head and body. To fix this issue, you can create an HTML layout and inject your content into it. Begin by adding an includes folder in your source directory. Then, create a base layout in Nunjucks format, which will act as a reusable template for your pages, keeping your code clean and structured. First, create a basic HTML layout. Then, add a placeholder for the page title so you can dynamically set a title for each page using this layout. Similarly, add another placeholder inside the main tags, where you will dynamically inject your page's main content. Here, safe ensures that the raw HTML elements in the content are displayed correctly without being escaped. Now, you're ready to use this layout. Open the indexmd file, and at the top of the file, between the lines, set the layout to base and give your homepage a title. At first glance, the page might look the same, but if you check the public folder, you'll find a complete HTML file generated with the data you provided. In Eleventy, you can create not just layouts, but also partials to reuse across pages. For example, let's add a header and footer inside the includes folder. Then, go to the base layout and use the include syntax to include them. Now, every page using this layout will automatically have a consistent header and footer. It works, but it doesn't look great. Let's fix that with some CSS. First, create a CSS folder inside your source directory and add your style sheet to it. Here's what my styles look like. Once you've added your styles, open the base layout and import the CSS file inside the head tags so it's applied to every page. However, after saving the layout, you might notice that nothing changes. That's because the public folder doesn't include your CSS file yet. To fix this, update the configuration file by adding this line to copy the CSS folder to the output. Now everything looks better. Also, if you look inside the public folder, you will find your CSS folder there. Let's take it a step further by adding more pages and creating a collection. First, create a new folder called Posts and add a few Markdown files to represent individual blog posts. Each post will use the post layout, which I'll create later, and will include the title, slug, and image fields. The content will go below these fields. Now, create a new file in the includes folder to define the layout for a single post. This layout will inherit from the base layout and its content will be injected into the base template. Unlike before, this setup includes conditional rendering. If an image variable exists, an image tag will be rendered. So add a folder to the project and place the post images inside it. Now the content for each post is ready. Let's list them on the home page. I'm using a for loop to list all the blog posts, displaying each post title as a clickable link, along with an image, if available. However, there's an issue. The images aren't displaying correctly. This happens because the images folder isn't included in the public folder. To resolve this, open the configuration file and ensure the images folder is copied to the output folder. And here is the result. The images folder is in the public folder. Once you click on a post, you'll be directed to that post's page. It's so easy to build a website in minutes with Eleventy. You should give it a try for your next project. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.